Good morning. I just wanted to have
if this pushes back on you or evokes something with you or you have questions, feel free to PM, ask, say, explore more. But I'm going to talk about the combination. We work with military veterans, servicemen active duty, retired and their spouses, and human trafficking survivors, and also sexual assault survivors. And a lot of them actually come from the military community. And we work a lot with understanding not only the trauma that they face from the event, that often leaves every person powerless, but the spiritual abuse that they've encountered their whole life, or even from childhood, or it could be complex from childhood, as well as military trauma as well, or secondary. So it's very complex, and I don't have all the answers. But just listen about recovery and listening to the parts of the people who we really work with and coach with and minister to. Oftentimes, I don't think churches are equipped, and I don't really think I'm equipped, honestly. I just kind of go where God asked me to go and research, explore, ask God, seek Him. But oftentimes, this is masked. And so many people are serving in church that have such complex trauma. And the question is, should they be serving? We've had these questions when you're leaders, pastors asking me. And honestly, it really is dependent. But I was thinking about where they were talking about having victory. And I often think, and this goes back to the positive, they call it positive, toxic positivity, which you just got to think good. And you got to put on the positive words and the vibes. And it's really always bugged me when people say that, because I'm like, it denies the other parts that we experience that we don't want to accept. And as a result, we just push through it every time. And it's unaddressed. And it just continues. And that goes directly against what the Bible says about taking captive every thought in our minds and handing it to God. And that's in sufferings, and good, the bad, the mountaintops, the valleys, everything they say. But you can't have victory where things aren't submitted, where they aren't asked to be revealed. So many of us are wanting to use that positivity to have victory in our lives to kind of cover up and it mask the very places that God has not mended or healed us. And that could be in our childhood, it could be in a present, like something happened recent. And the fact of the matter is, it continuously shows up every day in your mind, but in different ways. And the self-protection and self-preservation that church leaders and members, volunteers, have come to do leads them ineffective in the body. And it causes further hurt. And so there's this importance that we got to focus on chemistry, charisma. Do we work well together? Do they understand the policies? Which I'm a systems person, process, task kind of performance-oriented person. However, from the beginning of ministry, God has always told me people first. To always focus that people come first. And I just want to remind people that people are sitting in our pews, seats, chairs, whatever you call them these days. And I'm speaking to the military culture, that people that serve the military, that have sought the military as a place of refuge from their hurt, from from man's hurt to them. Is it going to have parts of them that they probably send to get somebody else to? Absolutely. But then they encounter war trauma, more hurt, betrayal, all those things, marital, infidelity, rape. And then they go to the church to seek refuge there. And then they get to a place where they feel confident just enough to share their story. And we're not equipped to handle it. And as much as our church at Radiant here in Tampa, Florida, our pastor's been going over David. And I've been studying David for about several years, dealing with trauma because of his lamenting and how his heart has always sought God no matter what the situation was, whether it was him that transgressed against somebody else or somebody did it to him, whether he witnessed it. Obviously he was in charge of wars. No matter what, he always took it to God. And I just wonder, is our church a place of refuge? Are they honest? Are we as leaders being honest about where we are and where we're ineffective? Because there's things that we haven't had victory in because we hadn't had God invited into it. And my heart and prayer is that one day, as we equip churches and faith leaders and people in general, that the pain and hurt that our military and service members and their spouses are facing is huge. And it's not going to go away. War doesn't cease. It's a continuing thing. We know in the church, in the body, that good and evil exist. But we keep denying it, buying into that positive, that toxic positivity, that they think that, and feeding that to our members and thinking that's going to sustain them instead of Jesus Christ. So, just want to share that message. Please ask questions. Let me know where your heart is, your experiences. We want to make sure that we're leaders that are there ministering to you guys, and we need you just as much as you need us, because we are a body and we're supposed to operate together. We're supposed to minister and build up each other and equip each other, and even rebuke, be there when we do fall short and we separate ourselves away from God, and to know that there's moments that we all have experienced grieving God and our sin, but also in that grievedness with one another. So that is my heart. Just sharing that with you guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.